Hello out there. Come on in, pick a pile, get comfy. Let's see what your pet had, what messages your pets have for you. And welcome to my channel. These are going to be messages about or from your pet. This could be a current pet, it could be a past pet, and possibly a future pet, but we'll see about that. I don't know. That just came through right now. These messages could come from four-legged animals, two-legged animals, winged animals, aquatic animals, farm animals. You get the picture. Now, let's get into these piles. What you're going to want to do here is if one of these piles resonates with you or you get a feeling like that's the pile you should pick that and then listen to the messages that come through that reading. It may be not all messages will necessarily go with your specific pet, but there should be some in there that do resonate, where you recognize it is a true communication from or about your specific pet. So get in touch with the energy. Maybe take a moment, take a deep breath in, and let it out slowly. And relax down into your body. And then we'll select a pile. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. And then in case some of you are more tuned into crystals or rocks, on pile number 1, we have a clear crystal quartz or point, double point. On pile number 2, we have a raw tiger's eye. On pile number 3, it's called an Agni Mani. And on pile 4, it's a piece of polished malachite. Take your time to select a pile, and then you can skip ahead to the reading you selected. Okay, pile 1, let's see what messages your pets have for you. Your pet or pets have. First, let's see if we can learn something more about the pet. 3 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, and the Star. So I'm feeling like this might be an animal with a shell. Now that can mean a turtle. It could be any of those animals that kind of curl up into a ball to protect themselves. So it could be a snail. It could be, what are those little hermit crabs? Something like that. Could also be reptile. That's the main thing I'm feeling so far for the type of pet energy. Yeah, I'm strong on the aquatic and amphibious and crocodile type energy. Water energy. There we go. Let's stick with that. Water energy. Now, this is a pet that is always looking out the window or looking out into the future, always easily distracted. Well, at the same time, they make it be one of those pets that will sit and stare at the door for an hour straight, not moving, just waiting for you to open that door, right? Very intense energy, very intense focus. Maybe an animal that is very easily trained as a result of that. A smart dog. Except that they're maybe also very obedient because they're so focused and easily trained and eager to please. That's what I'm getting out of that first card. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles right here. They're very happy at home where they are, the people that are around them. They feel like they've hit the jackpot. Yeah, the jack pocket. There we go. I know my words. The jack pocket. Um, the jackpot. How's that? The jackpot. Oh, they're pleased. They're very happy with where they're at. They approve of the environment if they're living in like a little aquarium or terrarium type space. They're very happy with what you've built for them. Very content with their space right now. And if you're feeling this for other pets, the other like four-legged furry varieties, there's this sense too if you do crate your pet. You may have added something recently to the crate just that makes it more comfortable or gives them something to focus on. It's something they like. You made a change, you added something in that they really like and really appreciate to their crate. And then we have the star card here. They kind of view themselves as your caretaker. Their purpose is to take care of you, to nurture you, to make sure you're feeling good. In some cases, to make sure you're getting out every day for a walk or twice, or at least twice a day for a walk. And just too, to help train them helps you focus because they're so easy to train. That makes it easy for you to do, which well, it gives you that sense of almost immediate gratification and success. And it builds your confidence and intrigues you more and makes you move on to tougher and tougher things. You might even at some point have your dog out, if it is a dog, out on agility platforms and agility training. Some one or two or three of you are doing that. That looks like fun. But the reason they're there in your life is for you to get involved in doing that stuff, to get you out of the house, to get your body moving, to help take care of you, keep you healthy, keep you moving. Okay, let's see what else we have. They love being outside or being in the sunny spot. Like if you close the curtains at night, they're so excited in the morning. When you open them, as long as it's light out, they love the sun, the feel of it, basking in it. hmm And then we have the Lover's card. This is about connections and contracts. For I feel one or more of your pets, it's possible, you feel like you've known them in another life, or that they are the reincarnation of a pet that passed away long before. But there's this sense of reconnecting with this spirit. That you guys do this in every lifetime, in every timeline. You have this connection in one way or another. So there's that sense for some of you that you are super familiar with your pet. Like you have known them since before your time dawned. That kind of energy. That's beautiful energy too. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. This is something that they fear. Kind of being left out in the cold, being left alone. Go figure. So they may be developing, or some of your pets may have that separation anxiety, that fear of being home, stuck at home. And they're not liking the crate either, which makes it hard because they're not doing well in their behavior while you're gone because they're in a state of anxiety. But you also can't get them into the crate for crate training. So it's up to you if you want to sacrifice a room rather than a crate. There will be damage to walls and things because the anxiety of the dog until you get that addressed, until you help them overcome that anxiety. So you might want to check out some websites or YouTube videos, things like that give you ideas and things to do to help support an anxious dog or a dog that has that separation anxiety? That has that separation anxiety, just to make your life easier and just to support your dog. Bottom line is there's something you need to do here to help them overcome this or work through it or process it. And there is something you can do. Again, it's just a matter of some research. Maybe investment in certain toys or whatever that can last them a very long time. But yeah, okay. Do the research. I'm also seeing like little toys for birds that hang in their cages. So there's some birds sneaking in here too. Let's see what else we have. Four of Wands, celebration. So I don't know if you have a celebration coming up or one just passed, but they loved that. They loved all the people there. They enjoyed the attention. They enjoyed the treats people stuck to them. And yes, people did indeed sneak them snacks or treats. So if they were sick or are starting to feel a little ill, it's because, yeah, just they're going to need about 24 hours to recover. But they enjoyed the energy of the party was very good, and that your pet would have fed into that energy or fed from that energy. That's where their experience would come from. Is that everybody was very happy and cordial and excited. This could have, I think I mentioned it. Maybe it could have been a wedding, a retirement ceremony, a baby shower, anything that where a lot of people are together and then there's love there and there is companionship and just laughter and joy. That just happened or it's about to happen, that type of event. If it's about to happen, just know, maybe watch or be more diligent about people sharing food with the dog, if it's a dog. It's possible that's a cat too that I'm seeing, but it's kind of that people reaching under the table furtively to give them treats. So somebody's dog's been naughty or might be. Let's see what else I have here. And then temperance. This is about balance, not going too excessive in any one direction or another. And I feel like you maintain a very even schedule, a routine for them, and that they really love. They like that you're consistent in the routine, and that will help more also, or at least you're getting consistent. Oh, okay. You're working on this maybe over this next month and getting up a consistent schedule. And that is going to help with the anxiety for this person, this pet, the ones that are having some of that separation anxiety or whatever this is here that has them feeling like shivery and cold. um, Getting them into a routine is going to help because now there's control there. They know what to expect, when to expect it, and they don't need to worry so much about when it might happen. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple other cards here because I was curious how this would work out. This is going to be how they see you right now. We have the Queen of Pentacles, so they're standing behind you. So they see you as their nurturer, as the mother, as the female energy, the yin, the receptive energy. You may be the one, if you have a partner, other people in your household, I think you'd be the first one that they would go through to for attention, for approval. Okay, let's see what else we have. You've had some, I want to say, decisions come up recently that you're determining, that you're looking at, considering. There's some possibilities out there. I feel like one of them may be to leave the pet behind. So they already know that, by the way, if that's something, if that's an option, that energy was out there. So they know, but they don't know yet what your decision is going to be because you are excited about an opportunity that's come to you. But again, it's going to involve travel or someplace where you cannot take your pet. So they're going to be feeling left behind. So right now, another part of their anxiousness might be they know this potential's out there. So you may want to do some calming and assurances to that pet about what's going on. And as soon as you know, let them know. And then we have the Fool. Okay, so I'm just going to go there. They kind of feel like you're being foolish. Why would you risk separation? So it's coming a little bit from the feeling of being left behind. Although, no, oh, it's two. Okay, yeah. So there's this one feeling, again, like you're going to fall off of a cliff and disappear. Again, with being left alone, that's a fear that they have. Being left behind. Being left behind is really tagging. Okay, and then the other part of this is they want to leap up. They're about to leap up and pull you back. I mean, look at what's going on out there. They want to keep you safe. They're protective. So there's this sense that they really want to hold on to you. They want to grab hold of your clothes and not let you go out the door. Oh, and there's that anxiety again. That's how they feel each day because, wow, do you watch a lot of like reality TV, like the things like car crashes or the police stations or detective shows or horror stories, that type of stuff with the dog present in around you? Because they're picking up that, especially if it was, they're more anxious, I'm going to guess, the morning after or the day after you've watched one of those high emotion, high drama, what do I want to call it? Dark side shows where there is violence and things like that going on in them. I mean, I love murder mysteries, so there's that, but that type of thing and the things that go along with those type of shows, that's, they fear that for you. They fear that that's the outcome that might happen to you. So, where does it seem? Maybe don't watch those shows when that dog is in the room, or try and watch some better lighthearted ones, or maybe end the night on something that is cheerful and uplifting and shows good things happening out there in the world that the dog then sees also. And maybe that might help reduce their stress. This could also be, I'm feeling, with some birds or parrots, by the way, exotic birds. Um, okay. And we go there, right? We go where salamanders or lizards of some type are also an animal that's pushing through on this. If they could find a way to go with you, they would. Just jump on your jacket and hang on. Okay, and then we have the death card. Again, this would be one of the things that they're fearing literally. Yeah, and that's, I'm still feeling that's true for some. But things are changing. Things are getting better. Things are improving. It may feel recently or maybe over this next month like things turn the corner and the dog is behaving better and it's less chaotic. both when leaving in the morning and coming back home at night. Yes. So things are getting better and are improving, or will within the next 30 days or so. But you still have to do the work to help them. Okay, and then we're going to take a couple cards from here. If there's anything they want you to know, any other messages they have for you. Let's see. We have the Valley of Knowledge, Simplicity, and Universal Spirit. Well, there are definitely some winged friends around in this reading. A bird, birds, bird. So there are definitely winged pets coming through. Now, in this first one, Valley of Knowledge, this feels like the process of going through and figuring out what is working and what isn't working to help address this anxiety, this fear that they have. So you're going to try this for X days and see how that works. Then modify it and try a different thing, go a different path until you come to what works. Until you've helped the pet work through it or learn how to work through their anxiety. You're going to learn a lot going through this process about yourself, about the pet, about all the different techniques out there. And then we have simplicity. It may come down to something that is really simple and really basic. It may come down to a set routine. No horror movies at night before bed for the pet or around the pet. And just an extra cuddle or something in the morning or a special treat as you're leaving for the day. But you'll find what works, but it is going to take time and patience. And don't overcomplicate it. Try one thing at a time. You could try one thing, and if you're not sure that's working, then you add on something else. Maybe it takes two of those simple things in order to work. But you'll figure it out again. And then we have Universal Spirit. This is your relationship with this animal, with this pet, is going to get even closer throughout this process because it's really about building up trust. Building up trust and confidence in both of you. So this is a process that you both need to go through and that they're here to purposely or specifically to help you do and learn and be an example for others ultimately. As far as it comes to helping a pet anyway overachieve that or overcome, not overachieve. They could overachieve, but overcome. Oh my goodness. I know what I'm saying. Okay. Enough babble. Let's see what we have on the bottom of the deck here. Yeah, I think, did we have this before? Yeah, a decision to make. The Two of Swords. This is the last thing. This is a reminder from what we said earlier here, where you have a decision to make. Now, there is no right or wrong decision here, unfortunately. That's what makes it hard. You have a couple options. You do not know which one will be the most successful. You know that both can succeed, but you don't know for sure on both of them. This is where you really need to lean into the options and see how your body responds. How do you feel about them? What's your intuition telling you? Is it a yes or a no? Is your body leaning in or pushing away? That's how you're going to decide here. Okay. That's what I have for pile number 1. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Hello, pile number 2. Let's jump right in and see what your pets have to tell you. What gossip are they going to share? We're starting out with the 9 of Cups, the 2 of Needles, this is the 5-cent tarot, and the 3 of Matches. So this is a dog. Okay, I did not expect to say that word, but apparently it's definitely a dog in here. Okay, a dog and a peacock. All right, they want to be acknowledged. I see it's coming through on the card. Okay. This is an animal that likes walking around on outside on the lawn, but what I'm seeing for the lawn is that it's made up of those low flowers, clovers. So not grass, but it is a very comfy surface to walk on, to romp on, to play on. And they really like that. They like the smell of it. They like the smell of their yard. I like that. That's a cool message. And the peacock or the birds, like chickens, other birds that feed from the ground. I guess that's almost all birds, right? Almost. They really like it because there's more bugs. It's easier to get and see and find the bugs as they're walking about the yard. So there you go. They really like their space. Anything else from that? Maybe later. Right now, that's I think what I'm getting. Yeah, and they like to show off, so that's why the peacock. Okay, it might be mating season when you're seeing this for your peacocks if you have them. So the tails are getting fanned out, all pretty. Sorry, something else is trying to come through. Please hold. See like a little waterfall type feature? There's 1, 2, 3 levels. And it makes noise. So it's not a big, it could be a big thing. Maybe it depends on the size of the space, but it's close to a place where you sit. You can hear the fountain or the trickle of that water. So there's a water feature near you, near where you sit, that they may be part of, or they sit there next to you and they enjoy the sound of it too. They like that noise. So they approve of that. Some of you could just have not necessarily pets, but birds. If you have bird feeders and you have a lot of the same birds coming and going, and you communicate with them, you talk to them, you know who's coming when. You have that kind of relationship with the birds around your feeder and your bird bath. So what I'm seeing is they really like the bird bath. Maybe, yeah, don't make it too deep though. So maybe sometimes you're feeling it just a little bit too high for some of the smaller birds. Or put some flat rocks in some spaces in there so that it gives them a shallower spot to perch. Okay. That got really specific. I like it when that happens. And then we had the 2 of Needles, 2 of Swords, essentially. making a decision. Somebody has a decision to make. Let me feel in. It's not the pet. And it doesn't feel like the decision's going to impact them directly. So this is about you, and they're worried for you. They feel your worry about having to make this choice. They know your worry, they feel your fear. So they may have been acting maybe more needy lately. But it's because they can sense that you need something, but they don't know what. So they want to help, but they're not sure how to help. They want to make it better, but it's not something they can fix. So if the energy is feeling out of whack or their behavior is being weird and wacky and stressing you out, try and take a deep breath and calm your own emotions. Calm your own stress, and that will help calm them. And another note is they're saying just make the choice. Stop overthinking it. Pick the one that feels right and go for it. Just make the choice. We need to get past this worry and this fear about making it and just make it. Then you'll know what's on the other side. But you can't know until you decide. So, yeah, they're worried and a little bit just decide, mama, decide. And then we had the 3 of matches, which is gonna the equivalent of the 3 of wands. There's somewhere they want to go or they like to go, where they're sitting at the window excited or go and get their leashes or they try to anticipate where you're going because there's a place they wanna go, there's something that they wanna do, right? And they're trying to almost herd you in that direction, or if it's a place that you guys frequently go to, by car or vehicle, they're gonna start getting they know the turns. They know when you're on your way to that spot, and their excitement builds. So there's certain words you can't say or shouldn't say, and maybe find if you want them to be calm because they're getting out of hand a bit, um, in the vehicle, take a different route. Like, go out of your way to come at it from a different direction, and as long as they're not looking out windows once you get closer, they won't get ramped up quite so quickly. Okay. Anything else there? That's it for that one. Let's go on. Then we have the Hanged Man for perspective. 3 of Cups with friendship. 5 of Buttons with hardship. This one up here said foresight. Yep. They're trying to anticipate you. Decision and wish come true. Yeah, they're living their best life. Down here on the Hanged Man with perspective. And here I am pausing, and then I read the word pause. They feel like you've been in a state of limbo for a while. There haven't been any changes to routine, any changes in your life, really, even. And while they do appreciate the routine, they'd like to try new things. They think it's time to try something else. Go a different direction on the walks. Go to a different park. Try a different snack. Try a different toy. Try something different and mix it up a little bit. And that might be something you're able to do if it's around the change of seasons. So if this is winter in Minnesota and it's been a long, hard, cold, snowy one, this is how it would feel in the spring, where they're just as soon as it gets above 30 degrees, you're gonna be easy to get outside, to just get out of the house for a change of scenery. That's what this card is asking for, a change of scenery. Maybe this is indicating that they are expecting a move or do think you should move. If you were looking for confirmation on that, this would be a yes. Then we have the 3 of Cups with the friendship card. So for some of you, there are either 3 pets or 2 pets and 1 person, or 1 person nope, or 1 pet and 2 persons. There we go. So any combinations up to 3. There we go. How's that? That might have been simpler. The sense of community, these very tight group. So I'm almost seeing 3 cats, 2 children and a dog, 2 dogs, and, like a grandparent or older figure. Someone who, always treats them because it's not their pet, you know? That's where I get the grandma energy. Let me feed them all the sugar and then send them home with you. Yeah. Grandma gives them anything, so they really love their relationship with her, but they also know that she's not home, but she's the best because she's grandma, right? So it's that feminine, crone energy. Okay. 3 of Needles. So in the recent past, something happened that, where they maybe lost some trust in somebody. It's like they were betrayed or fooled. So someone that they thought they could trust, someone that, they had a good relationship. Something may have happened recently that now has them mistrusting them. It's like if a chair was thrown in anger and the pet happened to be in the way of that chair and got hurt, now they get fearful whenever their owner gets up into that energy. Or it may be when anybody around them gets into that energy. They withdraw or they go hide. Now that coming out of this month, oh, we have the Lover's card, which is commitment, reconciliation, healing of that relationship is what I'm getting. So we're starting where something happened, unexpected, freaked out your pet. And now they may be a little flinchier. Again, when emotions get high, they're retreating. And you find a way to overcome that and rebuild that trust here by the end of this next month or so. For some of you, it might be 3 months, but it will heal. It will resolve. But you do have to do the work. All right, let's see what else they need you to know. So this is the perspective of them standing behind you. King of Chalices, 9 of Pentacles with the 9 of Cups. Everybody's happy. So what do I have here? King of Chalices, Cups, 9 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and Justice. Yeah. So King of Chalices or King of Cups, they stand behind you. They're fully supportive of you. They back you up 100%. So it could be that this animal gets protective around you when you're outside or when they feel you're in a emotionally come on boys, hang in there, an emotionally vulnerable state or mood. Then they tend to be more protective. I'm picturing almost like the little chihuahua um, baring their teeth at anyone behind the person's back, if you will, and warning them away. That type of thing. That protective, fierce protection energy. So that's how they feel toward you. They love your home, your space. They love the yard. Have we reiterated that before? They really love the yard. So if you have a case where your dogs are not liking the yard, they just want it to have that grass or that clover. They want it to be soft under their feet and make room for more, what are they? Bugs and bees and things like that. For the insects, there's the word, for the insects to crawl in there and just give them a little bit more things to discover and play with as they romp around the yard or fly around the yard in some cases. Scratch around the yard. Back to the chickens. Okay. Yeah. The Hierophant, this is a teaching or a student card. Are you the professor or the student? Are you the acolyte or the Hierophant? There's something about keys. When you go for or get the keys when they're in a specific spot, that's a cue for them. That is a cue for them to do something. We said 3 of cups down here. Did we get to 5 of cups? For some reason, I'm being asked to go back there now. So 5 of cups with the hardship. And it's button, it's pentacle. So there is a sense, and again, this has been consistent so far today, so it must be a thing. Hardship, loss, worry, isolation. They're afraid of being alone. So I don't know if in the past they grew up with another pet that was there with them. It could have been any kind of pet, but a companion. So it could be that they've recently lost a companion or were separated from another dog or another um, animal that they had been growing up with and were close to. I'm picturing a dog and a bird for some reason. I keep pushing through for that. Um, and they're just in a state of distrust at the moment. They're still hurting. They're still hurting and still grieving, even though it doesn't seem like they do this. Um, if this was something that was sudden and a little traumatic, so meaning they did not have, they as a pet, as an animal, had no inkling that their friend was ill, which means it wasn't an illness that their friend may have passed from, or that was the reason for them being disconnected, separated. So it would have been something that was sudden. They were literally talking and stuff as they were being separated. A little heartbreaking. But either they're reconciled with that, with their former partner, friend, or they just have that deepened connection with you and they've moved on, which is entirely personal and possible. That's the word that wanted to come out. Entirely possible because they're not peoples and they tend to move on quicker. Although they will never forget that other animal, no matter how many years have passed. That connection is very strong again between them, which is why it was such a thing and so hurtful when it happened. But they'll be healing and starting to heal and recover by this point. Okay, and that came off of the Hierophant. So there's something that you can learn as you kind of sense how they're processing through it, as you sense their progress in recovering from this, whatever this is here, this incident here. It'll feel like you're tapping in that you're connected there and you can sense when, yeah, when there's a turn for the better. but this is about you getting to that type of connection with this animal, with you opening your heart to them and having that heart to heart connection that can help you help them. Because you'll almost sense when they're feeling a little down then. And you'll be able to take actions that help comfort them, distract them, and help them move on. Feels like such a weird thing to be talking about for a pet, but that's what I'm getting. And then we have the justice card, and this is just confirming that things will be resolved. Whatever this is that's going on, and there may be things going on, I'm looking at this here, there may be some deals going on that you don't know about. Yeah. That you maybe, or maybe you're hiding from and trying to ignore with the hanged man here. But you need to look at things from a very clear perspective. So I'm feeling like they're saying this card here was about this situation here. There's something going on behind your back, something that you can't see. But you know. You can't see it, but you know it's there. And they want to partner with you. They want to help you um, come out of this shell, come out of hiding, get your head out of the sand. They're digging and digging frantically next to you. Get your head out of the sand so you can see. You can really see it now with fresh eyes. So I just want you to know, and maybe that's why you're having a hard time making this decision, because this situation here is fogging up your intuition and your mind, because you know at the back of your mind this is going on, but you keep hiding from it, and you need to open up, let it go, release it, whatever it is you need to do about this here, and that's going to help you make a decision. Or maybe your decision has to do with whether or not you decide to open up and acknowledge it. Get it fresh so you can start over and make it better or move on, whichever works. Okay. Let's see what they have over here. We have universal body. These are oracle cards. Vexation and triumph. So triumph here is about this mind-body connection, and that's kind of what I talked about here. Um, that's going to happen as you progress through these next month or 2 or 3 is this connection that's going to build up and deepen between you and this pet, where you have that sense as much as they do of what their energy is like at this time, and that sense that you've known each other forever. This is something you've done before, have this relationship with this animal. And then we have vexation. And there's this sense of frustration. And it's going back to having 2 decisions, 2 choices, having to make this choice again. They're really stressing this. You have been stressing this. You have been stressing and stressing about this decision. You need to accept all the information, all of it that has come to you. Give it an honest scrutiny. Make your pro and cons list, but you need to decide. If you don't decide, something will happen or someone else will make the choice and you will not like that outcome. That's the only surety I can give you. So here you have to make this decision. This is up to you to do. And the quicker you can make it, the easier it's going to be. So there's that being split between 2 choices. However, there's triumph here by the end, which really fits again with the Lovers, this sense of triumph, of overcoming, of pushing through. And it is like once you make this decision, you feel light as a feather. Your energy lightens up. You feel weightless almost, or at least there is a weight lifted from your shoulders. Because now something's happening. Now the plan is getting in place. Now you know what's coming. And so do they by default because they had a connection to you. They know what's going on. And there is success in this month, within this next 3 months. I'm going to stick to that. And that goes for whenever you're viewing this reading. That means that was the time that you were meant to see it. So it's from that point forward. Anything else? One more card from the bottom of the deck. The Eight of Needles. This is referring again and just reinforcing this. You're putting more fear, more anxiety around it than there actually needs to be. The fears you have right now are just fears. They're not facts. You're trying to anticipate the outcome, and you can't do that. So this is about trust, trusting your own knowledge, your own facts, your own intuition, and just trust yourself to make the right decision. You are not trapped. This is where you have some control. Or I should say, you are only trapped by your mind. So get up, step out in the direction you want to go. Okay, that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again. Hello, Pile 3. Let's see what your pets have to say. What messages do they have? These are oracle cards. We're starting with compassion, community, valley of unity. I feel like this is how they feel about their home. It's a community. Everybody works together. There's love and compassion. There's a sense of gentleness about the household. It's serene. This is a very serene environment, calming environment. This is just a mellow vibe, is what I'm getting with this compassion. And then the community, many, many people, but it's not chaotic, it's organized. And again, all working together to make it a success. So everybody knows what they should be doing, when they should be doing it, or they know the order of things. So everybody's on the same schedule and has the same plan. And then with the Valley of Unity, this just feels like recess. Honestly, feels like recess. So I don't know if you have birds, for example, that are in cages inside overnight, but then during the day you have an area outside that's covered that they can't escape from, but they can free fly around. Or maybe you let them free fly in your house. But this is that time for playing, for frolicking, for basking in the sun, whatever they want to do. That's what that feels like. This could also have to do with guinea pigs, like letting them out in the yard under supervision. Or just anytime when you're letting your pets out. Or maybe you have a cat that you let out for a few hours a day, or that goes out for a few hours a day. But they mainly stay around the yard, around the house, and don't go far because they're so happy and content where they're at. That's how they feel about the home you've built for them and the whole family, whether that's other pets. It feels like it's a lot of other pets or people in the household. It's just good energy. Then we have multiplicity, growing pains, and discernment. So what I'm getting from these first two cards, especially this first one here, either they've laid some eggs and we're waiting to see if any babies hatch, or you're trying to conceive or have conceived, or there's new energy in the house. Let's put it that way. There's new energy, new potential in the house that they can sense, that they know is there. And there's a sense of excitement about it in the community, right? It's that time of year again. Everybody's anticipating the fluffy little bundles, whether that be puppies or chicks. But those precious little bundles, that fresh energy. There's that anticipation. And I think it's more than one. Um, it's multiples again. I mean, obviously here, right? It's like 2 by 2. So at least 2 pets having 2 offspring each. That's what I'm getting as a minimum here. Definitely potential for more, but that's what I'm getting at a minimum. Okay, I'm getting the numbers 4 and 24, so take it how it comes. This also feels, there's a sense here too of a seed being planted. So while this is going on, when you start noticing that, there's a shift in your energy and the sense of anticipation. This receptive mode that you go into helps draw success, draw good things toward you. So this may be a time, even if it's just a day or so, where it seems like everything's just going smoothly and you're having a lot of opportunities come up just naturally. Pay attention to that and try to amplify them or document them. But acknowledging them and appreciating that that happened can help continue that cycle. Then we have growing pains. So, well, it's great. Those babies are so cute. They're loud, they're messy, it's chaotic. You're not getting much sleep. There's that sense of the growing pains of the relationship. This could even be have to do with a pet that's new to your environment that you're bringing in where maybe you already have other pets. They can sense that the energy is great for it, but they don't know the routine yet. They don't know the plan. So until they get on board, until they adapt, there's this you just got to deal with the fallout. It's only for a short time kind of sense. Um, be prepared for these moments of chaos and be patient through them because it's just everything adapting. So what I'm feeling off of this card for some of you, again, not everybody, but some of you, um, this has to do with adopting or fostering a new pet, using your discernment. You need to be ready. If you plan to do this, you need to have everything in place before the pet arrives, before you even know really that they're going to be coming. You need to be ready because they will not, um, they will not be as willing to let you adopt one of their pups, one of their dogs, if you're not ready. If you, for example, maybe they wouldn't let you adopt, and this is not likely to happen, but I'm trying to go with whatever. Maybe you want to adopt an alligator, but you don't have a little wetland out in your backyard for the alligator. And that's required in that state that if you want to adopt one of their or by that organization, if you want to adopt one of your animals, you need to have a little mini swamp environment set up for them on your property before you can adopt. So it's again, I know that's crazy. Hey, had to go with a fairly implausible example. I'm finding humor in it, all right? Discernment. Ask questions. Check out what the requirements are. Before you get attached to a pet on the web page, look at the requirements and make sure you're there before you look at them, before you look at the inventory. Okay? Be ready and use your discernment because you may find some of the requirements or some of the information that they share that they tell you maybe it's not an organization that you want to support. So you're not going to use that service and instead do go this other route. Or there could be other things within the contracts that you don't agree with or you want to change. So get all that out of the way before you fall in love with the animal. Okay. The beginning of this period, we have productivity, a very busy time, getting a lot of things done, making progress. So that's where you're at now or about to enter is that state of things are just, we're getting it done. It's happening. Everybody's on the same page. Everything's going smoothly. And at the end of the month, we have embodiment. This is the fruits of your labor, the results of your productivity, embodying what you've created, embodying what you've built. I have all kinds of scenarios going through my head. Like if you're building a desk, embodying the desk at the end of the day, at the end of that time. I think it's more, yeah, it's weird stuff in my head. It's more about taking time to acknowledge your accomplishments, acknowledge your successes for this month, to take time and feel and sit with how that feels. Sit with the confidence that you've built up. Sit with the pride of that accomplishment, of what you've created. But take time to sit with your successes from from this period, or at least in the last few months up to the end of this next 1, 2, or 3 months. You did it. You succeeded. There may have even been a specific goal, and they want you to know you're going to hit that, especially with the support of your community around you. Whether that's a community of animals or people or both. But everybody is cheering you on. Everybody is encouraging you and everybody is helping make it happen. That's what I'm getting out of that. Okay. Let's see what these tarot cards have. So these are looking at it from the opposite perspective of other cards. So the other side of the death card in the major arcana. This is a card of transformation. And they see you growing. Your whole community, your whole family, your whole circle can see you changing. So while you may not notice any progress, and that might be what part of what's happening here. While you may not notice any progress, the people, your animals, your community is seeing the changes. Trust them, believe them when they tell you things are getting better or changing, that you are improving and succeeding. Believe that. Suck that in. Bring that energy of success, of pride, of accomplishment into your body. Because they're seeing and watching you get it done and seeing you being willing to take the steps needed to transform. They're very proud of you and very excited about what's coming. Then we have the Three of Wands. Again, this has to do with they see you getting done. So maybe you work from home or you work with animals throughout the day. And maybe this is like a pet store or a zoo or something like that, or an animal rescue. They see you doing the work, and they can see that you don't again, you're not seeing your successes. You're not seeing how much you're getting done. You're getting a lot more done than you realize because you're so much in the moment and you're hyper focused on what you're doing and just pushing out product and getting things done. I think one of the things they want you to do over these next few months is try to take a step back from that focus, from that productivity. Um, Lean into your community. Spend time. Make sure you're spending some really good quality time, not just feeding and watering time, but just hanging out. Just hang out. They're also willing to help you make decisions about the future, about what it is that you want to do. So you might be able to tap into um, if you're asking them yes or no questions and just get a gauge over time for maybe what their responses are, for how they acknowledge yeses and nos. It's fascinating that that's coming up. Now I want to try that. Okay. Yep. Hold on. I'm writing this down. Okay. So getting and strengthening that connection with one or more of your little animal community, especially as you go through the month. Okay. Choices. So many options. Yes. Try and stay off of Google when looking for a new pet, okay? There's a lot of cute little pets out there, or there's a lot of exotic pets that you want to have, but you don't have, or you can't have, but you got to resist the FOMO too. Fear of missing out could be a thing. Try not to give in to that. If this is a pet you're meant to have, then it will be there when you are ready. It will be waiting for you. However, there's options. There's more than one option. So explore the different options, especially if you're going through the trouble here of, again, looking at the contracts, looking at the requirements, and using that discernment to help you narrow down your choices. Which ones do you want to go to first to see about adoption, about fostering, about volunteering? You have a lot of options. Make sure you're using this discernment. And then we have the Ace of Chalices. Good times by the end of this period. This could be up to 3 months. It could be 30 to 60 or 90 days. Ace of Chalices. There is a new animal coming in. Okay. A new animal coming into your family, into your home. And it's a joyful moment. This could be where you're reuniting two pets, or you're getting a companion pet. Yeah. Where you know that they're going to get along well. Perhaps you've introduced them, or they're from the same area, or they have the same parents, or something. The temperaments are perfect for each other. Okay. And then see what we have with these here. The Charmer, the Knight of Cups. So it's going to be a playful pet, cute, fluffy, or very green. There's going to be a cute energy to this pet. Let's put it that way. Fresh energy, flirty kind of energy. Respite, Four of Needles. There is a sense that maybe it's coming from a long distance, or it's going to be an exhausting process, um, or a very long process for whatever reason to connect with or actually acquire the pet on the date of acquisition, most likely, or around that time. The process is going to go longer than you thought it would, and just everybody's going to take a good long nap. Let's put it that way at some point here. And then the 10 of buttons. Yes, completing the little family, a card of completion, legacy, inheritance. So this could be where you paired it up, where you had the male or the female and now you've purchased the other so that you can breed going forward. That does feel right for a lot of you. It's creating a responsible breeding program. Um, you're dedicated to a certain type of dog or bird or species in a specific strain and wanting to reproduce. That's especially true for why you had to make sure that you're already set up for it prior to it arriving to help it adapt. Nice. So this could be a fish tank. That's cool. From the back of the deck, the oracle card, we have the healer. So this new pet you bring in, or this experience in this time period with your pets, is going to be healing for you. I think because you're going to learn to rest or when to take breaks, to take more breaks, to have some downtime, especially when it may be a high season, busy season. You have to make sure you're getting your breaks in order to stay sharp and continue to be productive. You need to make sure you take the rest. Allow yourself the rest, which can be very healing for you. Okay, pile 3, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Hello, pile 4. Let's see what your pets have to say. What messages do they have for you? And we have the Knight of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. So initially, this is supposed to tell us a little bit about the pet. This may be a canine. It may be a, wow, the word was just there. Equine, a horse or four-legged beast of burden type of energy. And regardless of what type of pet it is, they have this fear, this worry. This could be separation anxiety. They may be afraid to go into a crate. This could be a cat that you can never get into the cat carrier for the doctor or the vet. But there's this sense of, no, I will not go in there. I will not enter. This could even be about a room in the house or some area in the house. They will not enter. In some cases, it could be a room that they're not allowed to go in, but where the family hangs out. So they feel when you're all together in there and they're stuck on the outside, that's their feeling. They're feeling left out. They're feeling lonely. So they need help adjusting to that or overcoming that. Something to distract them, like a toy, or something to chew on, or like one of those puzzle toys for pets, or even a squishy. Some of them just want a squishy. Their best friend, their little toy that they carry around. Okay. What about from the equine space? Same thing. They never want to be in, and I don't know the term of it. I don't have horses. Um, they don't want to be in barn alone. So in an enclosed space, if they're the only horse in there, they're not comfortable with that. They need another animal in there with them, especially overnight, that they can talk to or communicate with if things are happening outside or the wind's kicking up, as they can startle easily and they can't see beyond the walls of the barn. So they can get anxious too, especially overnight, I'm feeling. So there's some things you can do. I'm sensing if it is has does have to do with a horse or donkey or mule or whatever type of animal this is for you. Like saddle blankets or a blanket or something that they can wear. And then if it is a horse, then you could leave them outside or with access to the barn, but they may not go in. So freedom to come and go from their stall. There it is, the stall, and a blanket or something like that to help them stay warm when they're outside at night. And then we have the King of Pentacles here, which is definitely has that canine vibe, but it's a chill canine. I am seeing this bigger dog like this. Um, it's a feels like a senior dog. So they don't have the energy that they used to have. They definitely have the more laid back attitude. They match your energy though. They will match your energy for whatever the circumstance is or whatever's going on around you. They will instantly match your energy. So they'll go from relaxed and sleepy to up and alert in just in a flash of a second. Because they may be old, but they're not out and they will do what they need to protect you. I have the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. These are all very good. So if you're working with some people, a team of people, or maybe you guys always meet up with the same group of pets and people at the animal park. What is it? What's the word I'm thinking of? Dog park? Wow. Or whatever. There's a sense too of getting together in a barn. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense because equine's in here too. I forgot for a sec. Of getting together with the animals, with multiple animals, like a play date type of energy. Um, I think that's where the Three of Pentacles is coming in because this is about community and working with or exchanging ideas and creativity with three other people. So it could be a couple of friends that you get together with on a regular basis and you all bring your pets and they get along. Or if you're just going from like visiting each other's house each month where you switch off. So your pets know these people and they enjoy those events too. They enjoy those get togethers where ideas are being exchanged. Creativity is flowing. So you're working together to create something. So that manifestation energy is there and just that creative energy flowing around them. It's very invigorating. Then we have the Four of Wands. So there may be a big event coming up this month for you or the next 90 days. Yeah, within the next 90 days for you. That is a major event. So this could be a wedding. It could be a retirement. It could be a graduation, but it's a big deal in your family, whatever this is. And there is great celebration, again, with a really good energy and and um, all the loves and kisses that your pet will be getting at this event. They're going to feel spoiled and they're just going to be out, just like a ton of bricks after this event. very satisfied and pleasantly exhausted kind of energy once you get through this. You may even be involved here in the planning with it of this event, which is going to get again be a very big success and will involve animals or does involve animals. Um, yeah. So this could even be where you're working or supporting or having a get together for an animal based charity or business, but huge success. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is how they feel about you. You are their treasured garden. You are the nurturer, their creator, their provider. They like to spend time with you, especially when you're around plants or tending to plants, because there's this other layer of nurturing energy that flows through the air when you're nurturing your plants. So they may like your other pets may like to hover around you or, be following your every move as you're taking care of, well, dusting too for some reason. So there may be some intent attention while you're dusting, but nurturing other things in the house. You may develop shadows. Now, at the beginning of the month, we're coming in hot and heavy, a lot going on. It's a very active time, and that might have to do with the planning and the work being done for this event here. As it is going to be busy and it's going to start feeling frantic as you're getting into these last couple weeks or last week or last few days up to that, leading up to that event. But you are supported, right? You call in the volunteers, call in the people who have asked if they can help and get things done. But it's going to happen quick when it happens. And by the end of this time period, we have the Ace of Cups. We have fresh new energy. So what I'm feeling is if you're not already involved with someone, you're going to meet somebody by the end of this period. Probably through one of your pets. Because some of you will have both and maybe resonating with both of these at the same time. You may be getting, so it could be a new person, and it could also be a new foal or puppy. Because one or both of these, your current ones, are getting up there in age. And you want to have that young pup in to learn. You want to have that young energy in while the other equine is there to help with training and companionship. And you, in part, bringing this other animal in as a companion to your current animal or animals to help them adjust to their changing life circumstances. Okay, let's see what oracle cards we have for you. We have, is this the right way? Yeah. We have creativity, dissatisfaction, and the healer. So right away, I'm drawn back over to this card here, the healer. This is that new energy that's going to be coming in. It serves as sort of the missing piece. This is the missing piece that's going to be coming in. And it'll make your family, make your little menagerie of pets feel complete. Yes. Up to that, we have creativity. With creativity connecting to these two cards, you're going to be doing a lot of creative problem solving here to help make this event a success. There's some creative It could even have to do with art in some way. So you're going to have to physically create something, and again, you're gonna have to use creative problem solving. So don't look for the typical solutions to some of the problems. Try to look at it from a obscure direction, such as how would somebody who had no idea how to open a can of paint go about opening that can of paint and painting the walls? What are they going to do first? What tools might they use other than just the usual flathead screwdriver or an actual can opener thing that they had, or a quarter? What else? A butter knife? Maybe a paint spatula or a nail clipper or a nail file. Just going through and doing that type of exercise when you're feeling a little stumped, when you're trying to figure out solutions, just doing that, all of a sudden one of them will trigger an idea, and that's what you'll go with. That's your solution. That's what you need to do. Just try and be creative in how you're thinking about things. Um, when something seems like it might be an impossible ask, do an exercise like that. Um, and you'll be surprised at what you learn, what you discover about yourself, and how creative you are. So making stuff happen and actually seeing it and feeling it. Then we have the dissatisfaction card, and that is over the 5 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands. The dissatisfaction piece, again, we were saying that is where they don't like feeling, and you have this big event coming up, this party, this celebration, whatever it is. Make sure that you are including them in some way in that night. You can give them some little job to do. You can keep them confined to a certain area within the event, maybe, as long as they get to interact with the people and smell the smells and be near their people, or be able to hear you in the distance, or be to know that you are there. I'm thinking if it's outside in some pastures or something, in the case of an equine or horse. They're not sealed up in the barn, unable to visually see. Even though they can hear, they know you're there. They're not feeling excluded if they can see you, if they can be in your presence or near you. For the dog, they're going to want acknowledgement. They're going to want maybe to be walked around the venue before things start, maybe walked around the venue again once while it's going, and then after, so they feel like they took part in some way, checking the perimeter before and after to make sure everything's good. But that type of thing, let them feel part of it. Otherwise, you may be dealing with an animal that is disgruntled and misbehaving because they want attention, because they're frustrated, because you're not understanding what they need or want. And then we come back to the healer here, which again feels like that fresh energy, feels like it ties very much to this Ace of Cups. There is this sense too where you are questioning maybe if you should get this third pet or second pet, if you should get this companion animal. And you don't want either one of the current animals, whatever it is, to feel like they're not enough. And that's a human thing, especially one that's endured some trauma or has some issues from the past around um, being neglected or being excluded and left out, where you're resonating a lot with how your animal feels. You don't want them to feel that way. And you kind of know they are. But you go again, you go back and forth on the idea of that third animal. And you know what? You may not even know that you're going to actually do it until it's done. until the day you happen to be out in the right place at the right time, and poof, there's that companion animal because it just felt right and there was a connection with them. Okay, now let's see what other tarot, what they have to tell us about you. The Four of Swords, rest. Take some time out to rest when you can, especially after this event. Don't just jump right into the next thing. Take at least a few days where you're doing nothing but hanging out and relaxing. The moon, feels. I just have feels coming through. They feels. I have barking at the moon coming up, but why in that way? I don't know if you get more sensitive around where with the moon phases, or maybe if these are summer months, you're just out much later than normal because the sun is out. So that's where you're out. There's a sense that they worry about you at night. They worry about your nights. So if you're working nights, I don't think they like that. They would prefer that you work days and we're home with them when they're up and moving around. Of course they would. Yeah, I'm not getting a sense of any shadows in here, which is something you could sometimes see with the moon. This is more of just worry about you in the dark. They don't like the dark. Oh. So they worry about you in the dark too. So I don't know if they're both getting maybe also getting having issues with their eyes and being able to see. There's that added layer of being in the dark, of being unable to see clearly. And there's a worry or a nervousness about that. So if they are having eye issues, it does bother them, just so you know. And they may need some extra reassurance around that. Yeah. And then we have the Nine of Swords. This is something that might be keeping somebody up at night with worry, with fear. And they see you as being penned in by that, being held back from reaching out and from connecting with them. There's this sense of a barrier that is all in your head. So they're not necessarily putting up any roadblocks with connecting with you or about how they feel about you. They love you. They love your space. They love the energy you have. They just want to be close to you more or more often. But never feel like you're neglecting them. You have very strong boundaries. It's just they have a desire. They're a pack animal to be with their pack in both cases. And then we have the Temperance card. So again, making sure you find balance and don't go take things excessively in one area. Don't overdo it in one area at the expense of other areas. You want to make sure you're very grounded and connected, and they can help you with that. And maybe this is for this pile. Earlier today, I was having this. I don't know. This came up, and I'm kind of seeing or feeling it here with the Temperance card. Some of you may have a pet, or a pair of pets, or something. It's something to do with the water bowl, and it's because it gets sloppy and it gets messy, and the water goes everywhere. And one of your pets does not like that. Cannot stand it. hates that sloppy mess. They don't like standing in that space or getting their paws wet because the other pet or something keeps happening to cause water to get onto the floor. They would like their own separate water bowl, please, in a separate space. So the one pet or whatever keeps happening with the water bowl over in the one area with the water all over the floor, they want a nice dry space around their bowl, their water bowl. And that does feel like cat energy more than anything, although it could be almost any kind of animal. But whatever the animal is, it has to do with their water source and wanting it to be neat and dry, except for wherever the water is. That's so interesting. Okay, one more card. Page of Swords. Yes, once you can get rid of those fears, once we can unlock the doubts and things like that, there's this sense of freedom. And now you're ready to do your research, maybe, if it isn't till the last minute, or at least up until the last minute, you may be doing research on what kind of animal do you want to get? How much do they cost? What other information do I need? If this is a new animal to me, what do I need in my home to get ready to set up for it? Researching each of the different breeds or types that you want to get, and that might be available near you. So, this sense of excitement and ready to do the research. And yes, they are excited about receiving a companion and they do look forward to it. Although, with the canines, there's a little bit of trepidation because there may be some arthritis or hip pain or joint pain. So, they may have a little bit of reservation, but it seems to all work out once the other animal is there. It's just going to be a good match. All right, that's what I have for you, pile four. That was quite a bit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you later.